So here's a thought for you. What if a religious text written 1400 years ago contained ideas that sound, well, a lot like our most cutting-edge theories about the universe? It's a fascinating and provocative question, and that's exactly what we're going to explore.
Our source for this deep dive is a book called The Qur'an and the Universe by Timberlake Fayakovi. Now, what this book does is it sets out to look for these really striking parallels between verses in the Qur'an and some of the biggest discoveries in modern science.
The core idea the author puts forward is this: that within the pages of this ancient text, you can find descriptions of cosmic events and scientific principles that nobody could have possibly known about back then. So let's dig in and see what the book says.
Okay, first things first, we've got to start at the very beginning, the ultimate origin story. How did any of this, all of this, even get here?
I mean, it's the question, right? It's something that both science and religion have tried to answer for as long as we've been looking up at the sky. Where did it all come from?
So what does science tell us today? Well, the leading theory is that our entire universe, everything you see, everything you don't, was once compressed into a single, unbelievably hot and dense point, a singularity.
And we have a name for the moment that point exploded outwards, the Big Bang. I want you to really hold that image in your mind, a single unified point that then expanded into everything. It's a key idea for the first parallel the book draws.
Okay, so now look at this. The book contrasts the Big Bang with this verse from the Qur'an. It talks about the heavens and the earth being a joined entity, one single thing, that was then separated. The author argues that this is an incredibly powerful description of a singular origin, followed by a massive expansion, written centuries before science ever conceived of it.
And the book stresses this isn't just about things sounding similar. It lines up with the actual pillars of scientific evidence. We know the universe is expanding. That's what Edwin Hubble discovered way back in 1929. We've actually detected the afterglow of that first explosion. It's called the cosmic microwave background. And we've seen that matter is spread throughout the universe just like the theory says it should be.
But there's another layer to this. The book highlights this other verse, which describes the early universe using the Arabic word duhan. Now, duhan means smoke or vapor. The author draws a line from that description to our modern scientific understanding of the early universe as this hot, dense, soupy fog of gas and plasma way before any stars had formed.
All right, so from the birth of the entire cosmos, the book zooms in on the creation of life itself. And it asks a really simple question. What is the one thing that all life as we know it absolutely cannot live without?
Seriously, think about it for a second. From the tiniest little bacteria to the giant blue whale, what's the one substance that connects them all?
Yep, you got it. It's water. It covers most of our planet. It makes up most of our bodies. It's the universal solvent, the absolute bedrock of biology. Without water, life as we know it just doesn't happen. Now this is where things get really wild. Remember that verse about the heavens and earth being separated? Well, get this. The very same verse continues, saying, "And we from water create all living things." The author presents this as this incredible, profound statement, linking the creation of the universe and the origin of life in one single passage. And we're not just talking about water here on our little blue marble. The book really drives this point home by mentioning an absolutely staggering discovery. Astronomers have found a massive cloud of water vapor in a galaxy over 11 billion light-years away. That suggests water has been a fundamental building block of the universe almost from the very beginning. So the book makes this link between cosmic creation and the start of life. But this brings up a tricky question, doesn't it? The whole timeline thing. Just how long did all of this take? This is a classic point of debate. You've got this idea of a 6-day creation story on one hand, and then you have science on the other, telling us the universe is about 13.7 billion years old. How do you square that circle?
Well, the book offers a really interesting perspective that's all about language. It argues that the original Arabic word that's used here, jim, doesn't have to mean a 24-hour day. It can also mean a long, undefined stretch of time, like an era, an age, or an eon.
And this isn't just a convenient reinterpretation. The author actually uses the Qur'an itself to build the case, pointing to other verses that explicitly say time works differently for God. For instance, one verse says a single day is like 1,000 of our years. Another suggests it could be 50,000. So the idea is that the 6 days of creation might actually be 6 vast cosmic ages.
Okay, so we've looked at the beginning of time and the nature of time itself. For our final point, the book takes us to the vastness of space, and one of the most mind-bending ideas of all. Are we alone?
It's the ultimate question, isn't it? The one we all ask ourselves when we look up at a clear night sky, just packed with stars. Could there be someone else out there looking back at us?
The author believes there might be a clue hidden in this verse. It talks about 7 heavens, but then, and this is the kicker, it says, "and of the earth a similar number." The book suggests that, in the language of the time, the number 7 was often used as a stand-in for many. So, could this be hinting at a universe with many Earth-like worlds?
And you know it's an ancient concept, but it feels so incredibly modern. When you look at these breathtaking images our telescopes are sending back, it's almost impossible not to imagine other worlds, other possibilities, tucked away in all that cosmic dust.
And this is no longer just philosophy or poetry. The book draws a direct line from this ancient idea to what our scientists are doing right now. We're discovering thousands of planets orbiting other stars, exoplanets. Some, like Kepler 22b, are even in the habitable zone where liquid water could exist. And on the far-out edge of theoretical physics, you've got the multiverse theory, the idea that our entire universe might just be one bubble in a vast cosmic foam.
So we end up right back where we started. This book, The Qur'an and the Universe, lays out these really thought-provoking parallels for us to consider. A single point of creation, water as the key to life, cosmic timescales, and the possibility of countless worlds. It doesn't claim to have all the answers. It just leaves us with one final, massive question. What does it all mean when the language of ancient faith and modern science seem to be telling a very similar story? That, I think...